Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, I'm your host, Mrs. M. And if you haven't, make sure you click the link below. That way you can subscribe to my channel and not miss out on anything you need to scale your business to six figures and beyond. Wow. So I'm so excited. I'm actually at the GPC conference, the Government Procurement Conference, and I just wanted to share a couple of quick tips in the moment. Number one, they talk about being contract ready. Now, what does contract ready mean? One, it means having your website. Two, it means having a professional email address. Three, your CAPE statement. Four, your introduction letter. Five, your capability statement. And six, your elevator pitch. They talk in great detail about not having more than a few NACS codes, one or two. If you here have 10, 12, they've said here today, the government buyers, and there were lots of them from NASA to GSA to USDA, all of them said one thing. If you give them more than maybe a few NACS codes, they're going to throw away your information. One of the things they really look for is small businesses specializing. That's what we bring to the table. You're not a large business, so they don't think you're going to be able to do all that. So they say focus on one or two things and do it very, very well. So if you have like 7 or 8 NACS codes and you've heard, oh, put as many as you can, I'm here to tell you as of today that, and I've talked about before, but they definitely said that's not something you want to have, is all those different NACS codes. I'm so excited because this is one of the main conferences I go to. Even though I live in the DC area, it's always fun. They have so many vendors. Right now, if I were to wrap up what they said in like a few words, relationships. Make sure that you are building relationships. So if you're looking at working like with disaster relief contracts, go to some of the national hurricane conferences. That was a big one. I have links for those. I'll make sure that I put them on our Facebook. So you're going to join our Facebook so you can get those links. The other thing they said is to make sure you start being able to verbalize what you think you do well. So many people are using AI, artificial intelligence, on their case statements and capabilities that they don't know what they're doing, because when you ask the question, you can't articulate what it is that you do. So make sure you're able to say, this is what I can do. Something else I've kind of rediscovered, or they talked about during the panels discussions, is they were saying that the majority of the contracts for FEMA, they work with the Small Business Administration as well. Some of the contracts for FEMA are too large. So SBA will work with your local, state, and county. Make sure you're registered with your local, state, and county. You're missing a lot of money if you're not registered with your state procurement office. Definitely make sure you're registered, because there's so many opportunities. And when we asked if there is a storm, do they go local? And if so, what percentage? Once they've declared a storm and it's an emergency is declared, they look for local. They talked about in Hawaii and Maui, how they had contracts worth millions of dollars for the fires that were in Maui. And I personally know someone that had a contract, and they spoke about this. Do past performances matter when you're looking at doing a disaster? The one thing that FEMA, they have the actual directors there that said this, they know that during a disaster, they're going to need different things. They will forego a past performance, but do a gut check. Can you really deliver it? They spoke specific about a company that was working in Puerto Rico that had to have 500,000 meals delivered, 500,000 meals. The company had one person. It was a one-person operation. They could only deliver 5,000. So unfortunately, they had to then take that contract from them and reassign it to the government. And the government doesn't want to have to take contracts and then be reassigned. They want you to be able to do it. So can you realistically do this contract? If you've never done a contract before and you don't have anyone to help you, I don't think you can do 500,000 meals. Can you deliver the water? You're not looking to go to the quick store to get the water, because they may need, hundreds of thousands of gallons. This store may not be able to do that. So they kind of said, no, they're not looking for past performance. It's great, but it's not going to kill the deal. But what is going to kill it is you have all these NACS codes. You seem like you're scattered. That's another thing they say. You seem as if you're scattered. You're not focused. So let's focus. Let's be contract ready. We want to be ready for the opportunities. This is now going into the fourth quarter, which starts July 1st. And they speak so much about money that they want to have spent. We had a conference last night. My actual company did, and we had a government buyer there, and he was speaking a lot about being ready for the opportunities. They've got money to spend. They want to spend it with you. There's a lot of opportunities out here. How ready are you? So let's focus on contracts under 250. Let's look for micro purchases. Let's make sure we're contract ready. Let's make sure our CAPE statements look good. Make sure they're honest. Vet our middleman. If we're looking at doing the middleman method, make sure we vet them. One of the ways I recommend doing that is on DSBS. Make sure you have your DSBS profile set up, and let's make this happen. Let's really get it going. If you've ever wanted to do government contracting, this is something that is, I love coming to the conference because it allows my students to put everything they've learned into real time. It's one thing to run around and think. It's another thing to hear, have a panel of government buyers telling you the same thing. Narrow down your NACS codes. Don't throw everything in and see what sticks. I know a lot of people say that, but they reconfirmed it today. Don't do that. That's a good way not to even be selected. Register with the agency you want to work with. Register in their portal, their small business portal. The next thing you want to do is do your market research. They always talk about doing your market research. When you get to who your buyer is, the USDA is looking for contractors like us, small business contractor. Make sure you visit their website. Take the time, like they were saying, get off of Netflix for a minute, and just do some due diligence, market research, building relationships, and being contract ready. What's the takeaway so far? Now, I've got a couple more hours before I am going to conclude, but that's the theme that I heard, and that they have a lot of money ready to give to you. So hopefully I'll see you guys here next year, and I look forward to seeing you next week for my GovCon Lunch and Learn. And until next time, make sure you register, visit me on Facebook, join our Facebook group, and just keep working it. You got it. You've got this. Just keep working it, be focused, narrow it down. And one more thing I want to say. They talked about sources sought, the rule of two. If two companies fill out a sources sought, they are going to bring it to a solicitation. So rule of two, sources sought, they were talking about filling out those RFIs, requests for information, how they're going to make them easier. Sometimes they're 20 pages, and that's why a lot of people don't fill them out, but that's some of the things you want to make sure you do. So with that, I'm going to wrap up, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Hopefully I'll see you here next year. I have conferences at least 2 times a year, so make sure you join my Facebook group so you can get all this juicy information I'd love to share with you. And you can be here next year making connections and hopefully winning contracts like a lot of my students are. So until next time, be safe, take care. Make sure you click the link to join me for my next GovCon Lunch and Learn, where I'm going to cover even more about what's going on now. Not last week, not the week before, but what's going on now. I love to keep things relevant and make sure that they're really, really, really understood as best as I can give that to you. So I look forward to seeing you guys soon, and take care. Bye-bye.